welcome to this.
Oh, back to school, to prove to Dad that I'm not a fool. I got my lunch packed up, my boots tied tight. I hope I don't get in a fight. Oh, back to school, back to school.
Episode of the Maza's Musings podcast. No, we are not talking about Billy Madison today. I just love the opportunity to make that reference or use that clip whenever I can. And I haven't had really any opportunity to use that clip on this podcast. And maybe I'll have to, work that in every now and then. But anyway, that is off the subject. Subject being an appropriate term for this episode, because this episode is, of course, all about back to school. Eileen is back in the classroom teaching and molding young minds, and Meghan is back in school being one of those young minds getting molded. And with that in mind, Eileen and I decided that we were going to take a look at some of the classroom dynamics that exist and try to figure out which Disney characters would fit each of those roles. It's a good time. It's a fun little exercise, and it's one that you can join into at home. Either share them with us or just do it yourself. But before we get into anything else, we have Meghan's Cuckoo Bananas joke of the week. And this one, she says, by the way, she came up with herself.
And now it's time for Meghan's
Cuckoo bananas, joke.
Hello, Meghan.
Hi!
What was that?
I said hi.
Okay. So do you have a joke for us?
Yes!
Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's hear it so that we can get the tired girl to bed.
I'm not a tired girl.
Okay, well, let's hear the joke.
What's a piggy's favorite food?
I don't know. What is a piggy's favorite food? Oinksters instead of oysters?
Oh, yeah, big crab! Itsy crab!
You're a crab?
The dog came to say hi too, but you can't see him.
Well, as you could see, the first week of school is leading to some just really a state of overtiredness for Meghan. So apologize for a little bit of that nonsense, but she insisted that I keep all of the silliness in that as well. And I guess that's part of what makes it the Cuckoo Bananas joke of the week, and not just the joke of the week. No Maza's Making Minute this week because, of course, this episode is all about Disney. So let's get right into our main topic.
Donald, wake up! It's showtime! Don't forget the orchestra!
Ah, there you are. And just in time.
Mom says there's even more magical stuff now.
For those of you standing, please hold on to the handrails throughout our journey and stay clear of the doors.
Hang on to them hats and glasses, cause this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness. And here we go!
All right, here we are, back to school. And I know that Eileen is very excited about that. Nobody can see you nodding.
Sorry. Yes, it's been a good start so far. Let's hope it stays that way.
And though she says she's not at all excited, I think that Meghan is also very happy to be back at school.
Minus the homework part.
Yes, she was. She's in second grade now, and they have homework every day. And when I came home today, I came to find her with her head in her hands. And I asked her what was wrong. And she said, I don't like having homework every day. So that will be an adjustment. But I think in general, she's happy to be back.
Definitely.
So with that in mind, today's exercise, which was something that Eileen had actually suggested a few weeks ago, is going to be kind of like looking at what a classroom has and some of the personalities that a classroom has, and trying to decide what Disney characters might fill those roles.
All right.
All right, so we'll get started with the teacher's pet. Now, did you want to go first, or would you like me to start us off here?
You can start us off with this one, and then we can.
Okay. So for teacher's pet, I know that sometimes this is something that kind of like the connotation might be it's someone that's like constantly seeking the teacher's approval. But a lot of times the person who's just happens to be doing the right thing all the time, even if it isn't necessarily approval seeking, they get that
reputation
right with the class. So taking that kind of view of it, I kind of thought that Belle from Beauty and the Beast fits that. She's obviously well read, and she's very smart, but still also very proper, and
kind to others.
Kind to others, exactly. So I guess that's kind of what I meant also by proper, because she doesn't necessarily fit the norms, especially in the small provincial town. But even with that, while she may be singing about how horrible it is living there, in general she's kind to everybody. So
no, I had Belle for teacher's pet as well.
Oh, okay, great.
Pretty much for those same reasons. Definitely not the attention seeking. She's not trying to be the teacher's pet, and
she's really trying to keep a low profile, honestly.
I'm not gonna lie, as a teacher, it's very rare that the teacher's pet actually tries to be the teacher's pet. In that like frame, teacher's pet, the ones that truly are those teacher's pets, and I'm using quotes, are not the ones that are trying. They're not trying. They're trying to do the right thing all the time. They're not trying to seek approval, because like if you're trying to seek the approval, you're going to annoy the teacher, and then you're not going to be the teacher's pet. So I can see how the teacher's pet can get that negative rap, but truly the ones that become the teacher's favorites are not the ones that are trying to be the teacher's favorites.
All right, so the next one that I had was the class clown.
So for that I had Genie.
Oh, so did I.
Did you?
So you go into
well, because his goal is to make everyone laugh. Yeah, he's giving you wishes, but I feel like he spends pretty much all of that movie, and probably I've seen the sequels, but his goal is to be funny. Yeah. And he is funny. Like, so it's not like he's just trying to be funny. He is funny.
And not to besmirch anybody else who took on the character of Genie afterwards, but I find the Genie is synonymous with Robin Williams, and really that is
what he
Robin Williams in a nutshell, at least cinematically.
Absolutely.
Okay, and we have the overachiever, and I guess this is kind of defined as the person who I don't have the description in front of me anymore. But
you described it as they were obsessed with grades, extra credit, gold stars. So really kind of that going above and beyond. And not to go off topic, but like this is what I view the person who's trying to be the teacher's pet as.
Okay, so who did you have for that?
I had Isabella. from Encanto. I don't know how she is academically or anything like that, but I feel like her goal, at least for the first 3/4 of the movie, is to please everyone and do the right thing all the time. And heck, she's going to get married for her family. And so I have her as the overachiever.
So I also had an Encanto character, but not Isabella. I had Mirabelle. Someone who's striving to excuse me, to do more and be more, even though she doesn't have, a quote unquote gift. She's always trying to be more than what she's perceived to be, both by others and how she perceives herself.
That's funny because I actually initially thought Mirabelle and then was like, wait, but she actually, and I just took the gift piece into consideration. I was like, well, she's not actually achieving, but she's achieving in other ways.
Right.
All right.
Okay. How about the daydreamer?
I went first for the last two,
Okay,
so I think you can have a turn.
I had Winnie the Pooh for this one. And for no like real reason except for in a classroom, I feel like he'd be the one who'd just be like, I feel like some honey, like, and just
I can see that. Absolutely. My daydreamer is Anna.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I can see her, just staring out the window, thinking about life and getting married and what her sister's doing and if there's chocolate in the cafeteria and
well, and you don't see a lot of it, but I'd imagine that, especially like little Anna is
just wondering what life is like outside
and has a person, not only a personality, but also an imagination to go with it.
Yes. But she's also the one that would see a bird out the window and just watch it forever, I think.
Yeah.
And it's funny, as we're talking, I'm literally picturing her sitting at a desk in my room, like turning and looking like, so like multiple times when I was talking, I was like turning over to my left because that's the way the window is in my classroom. So, yeah.
All right. The troublemaker. I had Stitch for this one. He basically is just that, basically to his core, and it definitely, as the movie goes on, and I'll admit I haven't seen the series that followed, but in the movie, it kind of gets softer and more cuddly, but when when the mood strikes him,
he's causing trouble.
It's like, oh, don't worry, my dog got the chainsaw.
I had Abu for this one.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Again, he's not doing anything major, but just little things, grabbing some food from the market or, trying to irritate someone, he gives away Aladdin, and he's definitely doing things intentionally. But both of us, I also think when we thought troublemaker, we thought like the good troublemaker, if that, like the lovable troublemaker.
Yeah.
Like
I'd say that's accurate.
Not the one who's trying to, just like the lovable troublemaker. So,
as opposed to the one who, well, and I guess at the beginning of the movie, Stitch is just very much the troublemaker,
but then he becomes the lovable.
Right.
Yeah. My favorite kind of troublemakers.
It's your favorite kind of student, period. Eileen loves the projects, the challenges. Those end up being some of her favorites. They're the ones that I hear about the most, and it's not because she's necessarily, well, she may be complaining, but she's also invested.
If I don't like them, I don't talk about them.
Well, that's true.
If that's like, because there's ones that you probably don't hear much about, but
yeah.
yeah.
All right. How about the know-it-all? I'll let you go first for this one.
All right. So I want to just read the phrase that you put in when you gave it to me, because that inspired me. Has the answer for everything, even when they don't. And I picked Scuttle for this. Just obvious reasons. He clearly knows everything about life on Earth. I mean, where would we be without a dinglehopper?
Right. Yeah.
So.
Well, especially when it comes to the human world, he is the number one authority.
You're right. Not life on Earth, life on land. That's what I should have said. Yes, Scuttle knows everything.
Okay. So I went with Dr. Ludwig von Drake.
He actually knows everything.
Well, he doesn't always exactly know everything, but he puts on a good show.
More than Scuttle, at least.
Well, that's true. So my initial thought on this was Zazu, but I don't know how much Zazu considers himself a know-it-all, as he thinks he has more of a feeling of what's proper and what should be done.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of a difference there. Whereas, Dr. Von Drake wants to explain to you how everything works, and he may not always have the best explanation, but he'll at least put on a show trying to tell you.
You are correct. What's the song it's about? Oh, just like the science of Christmas, right?
The science of the season. Yes, it's on the one of the Disney holiday Christmas mix. I guess you can call it Christmas because it does have some traditional.
That one is, I think it's called Christmas songs or whatever that we have. But.
More like, I would say, Christian, centric music too. It does have some of the other holiday classics, but that one definitely has some more religiously skewed music on it as well.
Yeah.
All righty. We're moving through this list pretty quick. The Quiet Kid.
I picked Elsa for this.
Okay.
This one I kind of struggled with. I actually had a list of characters up and was kind of like... The funny thing is, like, in my head, even now, I'm like, I can picture better, but I can't tell you who. Like, I'm in and I can't even describe it. I can't talk it out. It's not one of those things, because I brought up a list of like 100 Disney characters, and like none of them were like, that's the one.
Yeah, because most of them, if you have a quiet character, it's not someone that you're really paying a lot of attention to.
Right.
There aren't going to be a lot of major characters who are quiet. So when I was thinking about that list is very short. And It took me a while to get there myself, too.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess my thought with Elsa is she doesn't want attention on herself. Obviously, she overreacts at times. But she is very content just like being in the back of the room unnoticed.
So mine is much more of just an actual like quiet. And it's Flower from Bambi.
Aww.
Yeah, just kind of a quiet character, nice, and would kind of just if friends didn't pay attention, would just kind of fade into the scenery.
Yeah.
So.
But he has friends, so they include him.
You can call me Flower if you wanna. I know that was a terrible impression, but okay. Hall Pass Hero.
Who'd you have for that?
I had Goofy for that.
I can see that.
Yeah, he's someone that I feel like would just be constantly wandering the halls and accidentally taking the long way back to class.
We were talking about that today in school, wandering. It was one of our vocab words, so I had them wander around the room. Surprisingly, some of them were not very good at it. Now, let me tell you, if they were wandering to the bathroom,
They'd be
they'd
experts.
be really good at it. Yes. Yes. I said, I'm like, all right, we talked about it. I said, I've seen every single one of you wander to the bathroom when you were in 4th grade. I said, so now I want you to show me what it looks like to wander around the room. And some of them got it right away, but others were like high-fiving each other and like talking. I'm like, no. So, I mean, I guess one of them was even like running. I'm like, no.
I could definitely see Goofy wandering around and then ending up getting himself into some kind of trouble, like ending up somehow in the janitor's closet and not being able to find his way out.
You laugh about that, but we've had kids get stuck in the bathroom. There was a student that all of a sudden didn't know how to use the bathroom door lock, and he was in there and couldn't get out. And they were trying to talk him through how to open the door. There was another one who got stuck in like this like corner of the bathroom between a stall and a door that now we've had to cover up because they wanted to see if they could fit there. Then they got stuck. So you laugh about him getting stuck in a janitor's closet, but that really happens.
Well, for something to be truly funny, there has to be an absurdity to it, but there also has to be a little touch of reality to it. If it's too absurd, then it, just would be absurd.
You would think getting stuck between a stall and a wall is too absurd.
You would think.
But it's not. All right, anyway.
All righty.
Oh, my hall pass hero, Jasmine. I think she would like to know what's going on outside. Just like she's always leaving the palace, I feel like she'd be curious about what's going on outside in the hallways.
That's fair.
So she would.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah. And that really was based on like how she always wants to leave the palace. See what's going on in the outside world.
It's a good outside the box one.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. The Sleepyhead. Now, Eileen, teaching 5th grade, I'm sure, encounters her share of sleepyheads who have spent too much time playing Fortnite or whatever the game is that
I was going to say, this year doesn't seem as into Fortnite. I'm like, all my knowledge is wasted. Everything I learned last year is wasted.
Now, aren't you glad that we didn't waste our time seeing the Minecraft movie?
Chicken Jockey's not wasted. I know what that is. They when I said you're not allowed to say that in this room, they're like, why not? I said, because last year's kids annoyed me way too much saying it. So, anyway, not on
so
topic.
They're into Minecraft, but not into,
or at least the Minecraft
Fortnite.
movie.
Okay.
And I'm not saying they're not into Fortnite, but they're not
the way
last year's crew was.
All
not
right.
the way that I have to like come home and actually learn about it. Anyway, Sleepyhead.
I mean, I feel like this one was pretty obvious. I had Sleepy.
I had Sleepy too. Yep. I mean,
I tried to go beyond that, but I was just like, no, let's just keep it simple at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. All right. The Latecomer. I had a good one for this one.
Sorry, actually, I'm going to go back. No, I was going to further expand. You can use another 30 seconds on the podcast.
Yeah.
But I originally just read Sleepyhead and I almost went with Sleeping Beauty. But then I went with then it was just like, no, she's sleepy for a different reason. So then, of course, it went to Sleepy. But yeah, before I thought about it, I just saw Sleepyhead and was like, oh. But then it was a little bit different. All right, latecomer.
I had Flash, the sloth from Zootopia.
That's a good one. Yes, he is quite late all the time.
And well, and on top of him just being slow generally, now we also saw that he drives way too fast. So he's constantly getting pulled over. So even when he's moving quickly, he's going to end up late.
Yeah. Good point. I had Ariel. And she's always exploring. I mean, the whole movie starts with her being late for the concert, but I feel like if she found something more interesting to do, she's going to be late for school every single day.
Fair enough. Yeah, she's probably hanging out with that know-it-all Scuttle.
I mean, half the time she is.
Yeah.
Yep. Learning about something that has no bearing on what she's doing in school. But, yep.
All right. Who did you have for the athlete?
So I want to read the description because that, I think, is
okay,
part of why I chose this person. So it says, wears team gear every day, too tired from practice for homework. I picked Gaston.
Oh, good one.
Definitely could see him wearing his like football jersey every day or his hunting jersey every day, whatever it is. And we know that overall, yeah, he probably missed some homework assignments. There's definitely some gaps in his learning that could maybe be filled. I know in like the remake, not the remake, but like the live action, they kind of made us understand his character a little bit more. But if you're going strictly off of like Gaston in the original movie, he definitely missed some homework assignments.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wonder what team, because I feel like he's all team Gaston,
I could see him.
But then again, there are a lot of star players who are.
I was about to say he could be like a quarterback or like, no. He would definitely be one of the like top tier players who and I definitely see him as a football player, probably because like his upper body is so strong. But yeah. Who's your athlete?
So I had a couple of thoughts on this, and it's kind of split between two parts of this whole thing. The first thing is like just like the pure like athlete. I had Dash.
Duh. Yeah. Not duh, but yeah.
But taking it more like the other way of the guy who's not necessarily doing his homework and is kind of like, the popular athlete kind of thing. I had Sully, but like Sully from Monsters University,
Yeah.
Who kind of has that swagger to him. He just his build is kind of like an athletic build anyway, even though in the movie he's not necessarily, an athlete, so to speak, but he's definitely given kind of that jock persona. So I guess depending on where you wanted to go, I know the description.
And I think that's where when we were planning it out, or when I was planning it out, I was very heavily focused on the way you described it. And so I think if it had just said athlete, like that definitely would have been like Dash or something like that. But like when you described it, then I'm like, okay, that's shifting my.
Yeah. No, and I think that Gaston is one that certainly, like when I think about it, very much fits the stereotypical
jock.
Yeah. So that's a good one.
The ladies fawn over him. Yeah.
The drama queen or drama king.
Who do you have for that?
I've got Ursula. I mean, she just is drama all day.
Absolutely.
Just wasting away.
Yep. And I read your description. Your description on that was every situation is life or death. And with that, I mean, and this character is dramatic for sure, but I just picture everything being life and death with this character. So I picked Pumbaa. Because I just picked, like Everything is death for Pumbaa. Um, it's all the end of the world.
I think that's the first one that's really out of left field as far as I'm concerned for you.
But like, do you see like the description? Everything is life or death. She's gonna eat me.
Well,
like,
I mean, that was kind of actually life or death. I don't know how dramatic he was being in that moment.
I don't know. I feel like Pumbaa's extremely dramatic.
Honestly, if we're talking about between the two of them, one of them's a drama queen, I would say it's more Timon than Pumbaa.
No, but the every situation is life or death.
Right,
like,
but that doesn't mean necessarily actually dying. Like,
right. That's
like,
but
I feel like Timon's the one who has like the real highs, like, whose reactions to things seem to be above and beyond what they should be for.
I don't know. I think
for what
Pumbaa
it is, but it's your choice. So yeah. All right, so we're down to our last couple here. And by the way, if anybody has any of their own that they would like to share with us, you can share it with us on social media, or you can email us at the Maza's Musings podcast email, which is mazasmusings@gmail.com. So if you think we're way off base with some of these or have ideas of your own, please share them. But anyway.
But don't try to change my mind on Pumbaa.
All right. The tech wizard.
So this comes a little bit from personal experience in the classroom.
Okay.
The tech wizard, the one who you always can count on to fix things for you, also happens to be a bit of a troublemaker.
Really?
Almost always. Like the one who...
That's interesting insight.
Oh, yeah. Like my tech wizard last year was a boy who had a sibling in Meghan's class.
Okay.
If you...
Yeah, I get your drift.
And I like... Part of the reason they become tech wizards is because they're fooling around doing things that they're not supposed to be and like figure things out. But anyway, so
then I'm actually feeling better about my choice now after you giving that bit of information.
So my tech wizard is Stitch.
Oh, all right.
Because like he's causing trouble, but he pushes buttons, he figures things. Yeah, so he's my tech wizard. But that's my backstory on that, because in my experience, most of the time, the one who is like that tech savvy tends to be the one who might also cause a little trouble here and there.
Okay. Well, like I said, that makes me feel better about mine, which was Syndrome.
Yeah, no, that's
obviously
fair.
Has like, like the tech is really like his thing. Dealing with tech is his quote unquote superpower, basically. But obviously he's using it for, at the kindest way you can put it, is mischievous purposes.
Yes. But as a student in school, he probably would be the one that's able to fix your projector and your smart board and everything.
And he was initially doing good stuff. Sure, he was being a little mischievous in following Mr. Incredible around. But even when he was a kid, he had, created his own kind of stuff. So
absolutely. All right.
All righty. We're getting down to it. And we have just
2 more.
Worked right through these. Oh, yeah. I had miscounted before. We do have 2 more. Lost and Confused.
It's your turn.
I had Dory.
I
feel like that one was an easy one.
It not necessarily needs an explanation. Yes, it is Dory.
I mean, I can just see Dory being the one who you call him in class and what?
Where am I? What page am I on?
Right.
Not even what page am I on. What are we doing?
Why? Okay, Dory, why are you sitting in Nemo's seat?
What? And then look around.
How did I get here?
I had a student, and I know we've talked about this. I had a student several years back who literally I could find them like upside, like like their feet in their seat and them on the ground and like, how did you get there? I don't know. I mean,
I can kind of relate, not necessarily with like my feet on the seat, but I was the kid who a lot of times the teacher would be saying, "Yeah, Chris he's in his chair 1 minute, and the next minute he's on the floor, and he can't explain why."
Yep. All right.
So I'm sorry when that's what Meghan turns into, or already is.
It's a challenge for me, that's for sure.
All right, and the hallway celebrity.
Mickey Mouse.
You had Mickey Mouse. I felt that was
too obvious.
The obvious one, but it's good to go obvious sometimes.
I mean, someone who knows everyone is everyone's friend. I don't know how you don't pick Mickey Mouse. Obviously, if you don't pick Mickey Mouse, I respect your decision, but how do you not?
So I didn't pick Mickey Mouse because I thought that it was too obvious. But the one that I went with is also pretty obvious. Because he loves warm hugs.
Oh.
It's Olaf.
Okay, so he'd be hugging everyone in the hall, everything like that.
Just going up and saying hi. He wanted to meet everybody and wanted to say hi to everybody. And then once he knows everybody, he'd have to go back and say hi every time when he went down the hallway.
So he might also be the latecomer.
That's true. I feel like those two might intersect sometimes.
Yeah. Yep.
But I feel like the latecomer is more often, well, I guess both ways you're late by your own doing, but it just feels a little different. Like there's a different kind of doing that makes you late, that is independent of like other people. Whereas if you get caught up in conversation a lot, well, no, I guess we know some people that were related to who fall into that. Would both be the latecomer and the most popular person in the hallway.
Absolutely.
Or the person who would want to talk to everybody in the hallway.
Absolutely.
Those two things don't necessarily intersect all the time either.
Anyway.
All right. Well, we motored through that pretty well. I mean, I think that was a nice, quick, concise, but fun little rundown of what a Disney classroom might look like.
Yeah, that is fun.
And you know who can help you out with some nice, clean, quick, concise Disney plans?
No, who?
We Do Travel Right.
Wow, I didn't know you were going to say that.
Well, you know that Emily and her team do a great job hooking you up with a agent who you'll work one-on-one with, and they'll give you a great amount of attention. But on top of that, they've got the power of teams behind them, like the dining team. So they'll help you with all those reservations, making sure that you've got your park tickets. And if you're thinking about doing something like the Halloween party or doing something like a Christmas party or whatever, they'll help you get all that kind of stuff together. And the nice thing is, being one-on-one, they can talk to you to kind of figure out what's going to be the best fit for your family and your budget. And the best part about all of it?
It's free. Well, not the trip, but the planning.
That's right. The best part of We Do Travel Right is it's free. You don't pay them anything extra for all the stuff that they do for you. And that's because Disney or any other service, whether it's Universal, cruise lines, all-inclusives, they pay We Do Travel Right for you, because they already build the cost of an agent into their pricing. So you're paying for the agent, whether you use one or not. So doesn't it just make sense to use the agent?
Plus, they're nice people, and they deserve a little, they deserve the money that the big corporations would get.
Exactly. So if you are interested, you can go to WeDoTravelRight.com/Maza. That's wedotravelright.com/MAZA and get your next magical vacation started today.
Well, I can't do any more damage around this popsicle stand.
So long, partner.
See you real soon.
Well, thanks for listening to this episode of the Maza's Musings podcast. Whether you are a first-time listener or you've been with us from the beginning, we really appreciate that you've taken the time to make us a part of your day and have decided to become part of this little community that we're building. And to help us build that community even more, well, there are a couple ways that you can help. First is obviously word of mouth, telling people, hey, I'm listening to this great podcast. You might like it too. Beyond that, it's really, those ratings and reviews on your favorite podcatcher that really help us out. So whether it's a 5 stars or a thumbs up or whatever your podcast service does, that kind of stuff helps bump us up in the algorithms and makes us more visible to more people. And another way that we are visible to people and are connecting people in this community is through social media. You can find us at the Maza's Musings podcast on Facebook. We're also at Maza's Musings Pod on Twitter, X, whatever you'd like to call it, Instagram, and Threads. We're on TikTok at Maza's Musings Podcast. We're also on Blue Sky, and we have a growing YouTube page. So go and check that out, and don't forget to subscribe. You can find this information and much more by going to our website, which is mazasmusings.wordpress.com. While you're there, you can also find past episodes, more information about me and this podcast, and you can find where you can sign up for the newsletter. And the newsletter helps keep you up to date on what's happening. We'll tell you about episodes you may have missed, what we have coming up, and we'll also fill you in on some news or information that we've found interesting that we think you'll find interesting. And sometimes it includes contests and sweepstakes and other opportunities for fun stuff. And finally, if you're interested in taking your support just a little bit further, you can buy us a blue milk. And there's a link for that on the website as well. And buying us a blue milk, much like buying us a coffee, helps with some of the monetary costs that go into putting this podcast together. Whether it's just listening, telling your friends, or buying us a blue milk, we truly appreciate each and every one of you and the support that you give us. And until next time, I hope you have a great weekend and a great week. For the Maza's Musings podcast is brought to you by Hi Dad Soup. Check them out at Mickey and Minutes on Instagram.